So I'm starting off with eyebrows, and I'm going to use Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Soft Brown. And I'm just filling in her eyebrows. They're super easy to fill in, honestly, but I really love this anyways, even on my eyebrows. Okay, next I'm going to go in and comb through her eyebrows, and I'm using Benefit's Gimme Brow. So I like using concealer for eyeshadow primer, and today I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This concealer is my favorite, and I think it works really good as a primer. So next I'm just setting her eyelids, and I'm using the Urban Decay powder with a little Sephora brush, and I'm just going over them. So for eyeshadows, I decided to use the Morphe 35F palette, and I'm grabbing a really light sort of orangey transition shade at first, and I'm going in with that and just building it up. So after I've gone over that several times, then I want to go in with a little bit of a darker warm brown, and I'm putting that in the crease just to give it more depth. So next I'm mixing an even warmer brown with like a brick red sort of shade, and I'm going with that with a like smaller, more defined crease brush, and just putting that sort of at the outer half and bringing it inward. So after I put those shades down, I realized that I forgot to add tape, and I really like using tape for that clean, sharp edge when I'm doing a dramatic look. So with that smaller crease brush, I'm just taking that warm brown and the red again and just deepening it up in the outer corner. Okay, and here I'm taking the black shade from the palette and putting that in my outer corner with like a really small crease brush. But really didn't like the pigmentation of this one, so I ended up going in with the Kat Von D one from her Shade Light palette, and I used that black because that one's really nice and pigmented. And here I'm just blending with that darker black even more, so I'm packing it on, blending it out, packing it on, blending it out. And now I'm going in with that shimmery shade, and I'm just putting that on the lid. I like to pull the eyelid, and I know that's bad for it, but I like pulling it because it gives me good pigmentation. So to enhance the pigmentation even more, I decided to put some eye drops on the brush, and then I put it on, and it made it even more metallic and pretty. So next I'm just going in with that crease brush again, blending, making sure there's no harsh lines from the eyeshadow up to the crease. And then I'm just darkening with more of that black eyeshadow from the Kat Von D palette. So I did her eyelashes and eyeliner off camera, but I used Huda Beauty Jade lashes, and I used the L'Oreal gel eyeliner for her eyeliner, and just did a line above or just like over the lash line to cover the band up. For primer, I use the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, and I love this primer so much. It smooths over the skin so well. I also really like taking the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, and I just put it like on the nose and then over on the sides of the nose where the pores are a little bit bigger. So for foundation, I use two. I use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, and then I also use the Makeup Forever HD because one's too dark and one's too light, and I'm applying that with a beauty blender. So I'm using this Becca under eye corrector underneath her eyes, and I'm just taking a little brush and I'm applying just a little bit and blending it out with a beauty blender because a little goes a long way. So for concealer, I'm using my all-time favorites, and these are the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealers. I'm using light neutral and then light warm and mixing them because light neutral is a little dark and then light warm's a little bit light. To bake, I'll be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So to dust off the powder, I load my brush up with the Anastasia banana powder and then I brush it off and then I keep tapping the brush to make sure it doesn't look powdery. To warm up her cheeks, I'm using Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer and I'm using it in medium. And I'm just warming up her cheeks. I don't even know what brush this is. It's not a good brush, but it did the job. So to contour, I really like using the Benefit Hoola bronzer and I take it on my NARS Ita brush and I just do a little bit of contouring and then I do her nose with that too. So I'm also baking underneath the contour and I'm using the Laura Mercier powder again and just letting that sit for a little bit. So moving on to the lower lash line, I'm taking like a flat definer brush and I'm using that black from the Kat Von D palette and just packing it underneath her lash line. And then I'm coating her bottom eyelashes using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Okay, so right here I just got a little bit of that Urban Decay face powder and I'm just dusting off the bake at the bottom of her contour. And I'm using Tarte Expose Blush on her cheekbones. For highlight today, I'll be mixing Mary Luminizer by the Balm and L'Oreal's Gilded Honey. And then also, I forgot to say this, but on her brow bone, I used Max Nylon. For lips, I'll be using Too Faced Queen Bee Liquid Lipstick. And that'll be all. That's going to complete my first video. Thank you guys for watching.